vessels would dilate here. And when it dilates, this opens up so that rather than the blood being channeled up, it will also be more blood going to the side and then coming down. So this is a one-way kind of thing. So this is in a way, rather than going to the top surface, it will be redirected back down with a shorter distance. Okay. So for your hypothalamus, they will help to monitor and regulate your body temperature. You will receive information from two main sources. Number one, the receptors on the skin surface. The second one is actually in your hypothalamus in the brain. So one detects the external environment, the other detects within your blood. So this is the part where our body doesn't just have one sensing point, but it has multiple in order to complementary the whole function and structure of how this actually works. Okay. So in terms of regulating the body temperature, first of all, there will be the stimulus of the temperature increase. Usually when you go to hot environment, or you can exercise lah, after you exercise lah. Then the receptors in your skin or hypothalamus will detect this change, causing a corrective mechanism. Writing just like this is not enough. You have to actually explain in full. So do refer to your notes for how the wording should be. Then later on, this will then lead to an increase in heat loss and reduce heat production, causing your body temperature to decrease. What happens when body temperature decreases? So this only happens when you go to a cooler environment. That means either in the aircon room or things like this. Then your hypothalamus or your thermoreceptors will detect this change, sent to the brain to result in some corrective mechanism. In this case, is vasoconstriction of your arterioles near the skin surface, decreased production of sweat, increased metabolic rates. That means your body will start to exercise more. You will start to shiver more. Shivering is in a way causing your body to actually undergo aerobic respiration to generate heat energy. Okay, then lastly, it will cause your decrease in heat loss and an increase in heat production. So two things are happening here as compared to the other one. So the first one is to lose lesser heat. The second one, because you are carrying out activity, so you increase heat production. All these together will then cause your body temperature to increase. Then it will go back to the norm again. Okay. So that's it. That's the end of this portion of the chapter. So just to recap, initially we talk about homeostasis, what is the function, what are the different kinds of glands available, and the hormonal action. We talk about how we regulate our water potential in our body through the use of the hormone, antidiuretic hormone. Then we also talk about the part about diabetes, which is the second part of the use of insulin and glucagon to regulate your blood glucose concentration. And finally, without the use of hormones, can we still undergo homeostasis? Yes, it's mainly through the skin structures and what we discover. So these three scenarios, the first one is the water potential regulation. The second one is the blood glucose concentration. The third one, the temperature, is one of the few common scenarios that can come up for exam. For those taking the science bio one, right, mainly they will test more towards is the one for the insulin glucagon one. But for students taking the pure bio one, generally it's all these three. So it's depending on which chapter they test. So if it's a chapter of excretion, they will bring in more the ADH. If it's a chapter of nutrition in humans, they'll bring in more the insulin glucagon. Then of course, the skin one is just by itself. Okay, so that's all for today. For the lesson in terms of the chapter. Okay, thank you.